You know, when you look around, from a tiny blade of grass to a huge whale in the ocean, it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the life out there. But what if I told you that almost everything you can see with your own eyes falls into just two massive kingdoms? Today, we're going to break down the fundamental rules that separate the incredible worlds of plants and animals.
Okay, so let's start with a fun one. What could a whale and a weed possibly have in common? I mean, seriously. One is this gigantic creature of the deep, and the other is, well, it's a weed you'd pull out of your garden. It sounds like a trick question, doesn't it?
Well, the answer is actually really simple, but it's also kind of profound. They each represent one of life's two great kingdoms. One's an animal, the other's a plant. That's it. Think of these kingdoms like the two biggest teams on planet Earth, the two major leagues that almost all the life we see belongs to.
All right, let's dive into the first kingdom, the world of plants. We call them the planet's producers, and for good reason. These are the quiet, still life forms that are, quite literally, the foundation of our entire ecosystem. They don't need to go hunting or anything like that, because they have a secret weapon. They make their own food.
And here it is, their superpower. It's called photosynthesis. You've heard of it, right? Well, animals like us have to go find calories. Plants are basically master chemists. It's incredible. They just take sunlight, water, and the carbon dioxide we breathe out, and poof, through this amazing chemical reaction, they turn it into pure energy. This one process is what powers pretty much our entire world.
But of course, the plant kingdom isn't just one big green blob. Oh no, it's actually broken down into 5 super diverse groups, and each one has its own cool story. So let's take a quick look at who's on the team.
This really gives you a sense of the incredible range we're talking about. You start with the super simple stuff, like algae just kind of floating in the water. Then you've got mosses, that soft green carpet you see in shady, damp places. Ferns are a step up, a bit more complex with those classic feathery leaves. Then we get to the big guys, the gymnosperms. Think pine trees, the evergreens that use cones instead of flowers. And then, the most advanced of all, the angiosperms. This is the whole shebang, all the flowering plants, all the fruits, all the vegetables we eat.
So let's just be super clear about this. Without plants, our world, as we know it, just wouldn't exist, period. They are the ultimate givers. They produce the oxygen we're breathing right now, and they form that crucial first link in almost every single food chain on the planet.
Okay, so now let's flip the coin and look at the other great kingdom, the world of animals. If plants are the producers, then animals are the planet's consumers. They're the ones on the move, the active, energetic life forms that have to go out and find their energy.
And really, it all boils down to this one fundamental difference. It's that simple. Plants make their own food. Animals have to find their food. That's it. That one little distinction is the huge evolutionary dividing line that shapes everything about how they live, their biology, their behavior, everything.
So when I say the word animal, what pops into your head? A lion? A dog? Maybe a bird? Yeah, me too. But here's a mind-blowing fact for you. All of those animals, they're in a tiny, tiny minority. Just look at this. A whopping 97% of all animal species on Earth don't have a backbone. They're what we call invertebrates.
And this massive group is, well, it's everything from the bees that pollinate our food to the jellyfish floating in the ocean and the worms in the soil. They might not get the same attention as the big furry mammals, but make no mistake, this silent majority plays an absolutely critical role in every single ecosystem.
So that leaves the rest of us, the vertebrates, that tiny 3%. Yep, that's our club. We might be outnumbered big time, but what defines this group is its incredible complexity and just the amazing variety of shapes and sizes we come in.
Now, the vertebrates are broken down into 5 pretty famous classes. You're definitely going to recognize these: fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and of course, mammals. So let's quickly see what makes each of them tick.
Each of these groups has its own special thing, right? Fish are the masters of the water, breathing through gills. Amphibians, like frogs, live this wild double life, starting in the water and then moving on to land. Reptiles are the cold-blooded, scaly crew. Think snakes, turtles, lizards. Birds, well, they evolved to own the skies with their feathers. And finally, you have us, the mammals. We're warm-blooded, we've got hair or fur, and we feed milk to our babies.
So up to this point, we've been putting plants and animals into these two neat, separate boxes. But the real magic, the real story, is that they're not separate at all, not even close.
They are locked together in this delicate, essential, planet-sized partnership.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about how different they are, but that leads to the biggest question of all, right? Why on earth do they need each other so much?
And this table breaks it down perfectly. It's this incredible give and take. Look what plants give animals: oxygen to breathe, food to eat, and a place to live. Pretty essential stuff. And what do animals give back? They're like little delivery drivers, spreading seeds to new places. And they're crucial pollinators, which is how most plants reproduce. It's this beautiful, balanced exchange.
And this partnership, it isn't just some nice little feature of nature. It's the engine. It's what makes everything go. You've got the producers and the consumers working together, creating this balanced, self-sustaining ecosystem that literally keeps our entire planet alive and running.
And I think this really sums it all up perfectly. It might look like chaos out there sometimes, but it's not. Every single plant and every single animal has its own special job to do, its own part to play in the grand scheme of things.
But I'll leave you with this final thought. As huge and as all-encompassing as the plant and animal kingdoms seem, they're just 2 of the 6 official kingdoms of life. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible worlds of fungi, bacteria, and all sorts of other microscopic life are just humming with activity all around us right now?